This week on Hermitcraft.
Also, Keralis is back!
Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is LoyXP, and would you look at that? We have a new guy. He's the old guy.
Freeze in the name of the self-proclaimed base security.
Who are you?
I'm Keralis. What is
You
this?
wish. That's another alien.
It is.
Get him!
No.
Take him out!
Through the much hyped magic of borderless nether portals, Doc M managed to open a rift in what's left of the space-time continuum and bring back none other than Keralis, last seen on the server no less than 2 seasons ago. Mind you, the footage of Keralis going into that nether portal dates back to late Season 1, meaning that there shouldn't be any Keralis to go about in Seasons 2 or 3 at all, unless he can be in 2 times at the same time.
Look at me, this stupid
You're
outfit.
at the wrong place at the wrong time, buddy.
But whatever, we'll blame it on Grian's bootleg TARDIS. Accept no imitations, people. Meanwhile, on Twitter, Dr. M is threatening to bring back even more things that time forgot. And sir, please stop. We only have so much hype to go around. The point is, we got our Bo Baddie back, and we couldn't be happier. And with all that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
I've been watching him for a minute now. He's never blinked one time. Look at him.
Starting with Wells Knight, who is getting a dog in real life, so that's reason enough to be aggressively adorable for 20-something minutes while terraforming the hills by his lakeless lakeside manor.
As I said, my problem with this sort of thing is that, like, I want to adopt all of them. I go to an animal shelter and I see 7 dogs there that are all, you know, what I'm looking for, and I just want to bring all of them home.
Elsewhere, at an actual lake, Python takes a break from using infinitely tradable quartz for all the things and starts a more natural-looking medieval settlement around the central landmark, the Ring of Grian's Elytra course. Presumably the cows in the cowshed are used to eating seagrass by now. But he can't resist the call of the stonemason trades for long, and another skyscraper gets added to Tower Bay once the security golem is done taking care of the local ruffians.
Go on! Oh, this is what you get. This is what you get for all of those times you've shot me in the past. Big old Bob over there, your name's Bob. Big Bob is going to come over and swing you to death.
Python's guild of not free at all masons gets a visit from XIsuma, though they might know him as the hero of the village. Guessing it was more of a demonstration to Python about how much lower the prices for quartz can be.
Oh yeah, look at that, they're throwing gifts, they're throwing me clay! Thank you ever so much, I can come down here and pick it up. Alright, that's sweet.
Not that X has any reason to seek low prices, he can afford to blow up a beacon's worth, which he does, by mistake.
I can't believe I forgot about that, let's go turn it off.
Now the whole reason for the TNT spam is that mushroom farm he's been working on lately. Because mobs spawn more frequently the lower the spawning platform, XIsuma had to dry up and dig out a sizable square in the middle of the submerged mushroom island. At least he didn't have to do that with his back and forward buttons swapped. Then again, he didn't do anything with his back and forward buttons swapped, he swapped right and left instead. We still got some mileage out of the switch. Horizontally mirrored XIsuma decided to go through the Tag HQ parkour stairs, his own Floor is Lava minigame, and the Get Diamonds in 10 Minutes challenge.
You know, I'm sure there was some technique for jumping off of this pressure plate, but I've since learned if you hold down shift and walk to the edge, that's good enough? Is it me or is that piston not making any sound?
The temperate vegetable is passed on to Keralis, tucked away in a care package at spawn. You'll know who it's for because it looks like an incredibly surprised bee. For the full story of exactly why Keralis is even here, blame Doc M, who's in the middle of deciding what to do about the Concorp drones flying over Area 77 when a familiar stranger walks out of his nether portal.
Where am I?
Freeze in the name of the self-proclaimed base security.
Since the last thing that went into the portal was a giant talking rat, Doc and General Angry Eyebrows, as portrayed by Good Times with Scar, are naturally a little suspicious and lock him away in the military bunker. To prove he's the real deal, they post a few shulker boxes of materials through the letterbox and ask him to build a house.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to prove that I'm Keralis, obviously.
So while a beachfront property is being built in his basement, Doc doubles down on the security personnel, parking Batman and his sidekick Observer Boy in the pickup truck by the perimeter. The more obvious threat is the flying fortresses Concorp has sent over the site, and when Doc attempts to bring one down with a trident, he gets more than he bargained for.
I want to show you guys this. This is the dead man's drone. This thing is basically a flying surveillance juggernaut. The drone actually fights back and drops some TNT on this whole area.
Okay, I knew it. Are you kidding me?
2 can play at that game, of course, and once all the drones are disarmed, Doc repurposes their explosives for surface-to-air cannons and blasts them out of the sky one by one.
Terminated.
The fireworks don't end there, because he gets a visit from mysterious Totem Guy, which turns out to be pretty useful when he's corralling his pet Ravager later. Scar is much nicer to the potential air visitors. He expands the runway lines for more realistic infrastructure with taxi lines and radar towers. The prisoner looks much more sympathetic to him too, both being builders and all, though the containment breaches surely don't help their relationship.
Whoa!
Whoa! What the heck? It's trying to break out.
Stay there, don't move. Close
Oh
the
my
window, man. Put some blocks in. He's trying to escape.
I got him!
He's running! Knock him out!
To prove that he is in fact not an alien disguised as a really velvety-voiced human, Keralis is tasked with building a house out of the materials provided, or under-provided, in the case of shrubbery.
2 bushes. 2 bushes. They left me with 2 bushes. I can't believe Foley.
Since the design he went for checks out as one from his channel, and since Scar is a kind-hearted soul easily manipulated by anything adorable, Keralis is let go, given plenty of goodies, and then murdered via hugging a Ravager. What a way to rejoin the group.
I think we lost them. I can't spot them anywhere. Am I free? I'm free. We are free. What a bunch of crazies.
At least he might recognize a few folks while he's wandering around the shopping district. He might even run into Joe Hills, who's still making some quick diamonds by dropping off terracotta at Concorp's shops.
Which, in my opinion, is the single greatest economic advancement on the Hermitcraft server. Everybody's like, Joe, you don't have any money, you should shop at Sahara. And I'm like, that's not what shopping at Sahara is. That's going into Sahara and being escorted out because you don't have any money.
His earnings are quickly reinvested in doing more research at the minigame district, basically an excuse to have some fun in between designing his Death Drop roller coaster. If he learns anything, it's that most of these games favour the house, and even re-enchanting the house's fortune pickaxes won't improve your chances. Zedaph's duck minigame provides a pleasant and free distraction, but he's still got grisly lava deaths in mind when he returns to working on his own thrill ride.
Maybe those drops will be even more scary if all of a sudden you're looking at a big old ravine. Yeah, you can make a ravine in Minecraft, right? What do you need, a shovel?
For his enjoyment, Zed's got a whole other thrill ride cooking. It turns out Is That Sheep Looking At Me was renewed for a 3rd season. And it's a good thing too, because the only other show on Hermitcraft's TV set right now is a single episode of Saharan News.
We begin Is That Sheep Looking At Me, the new television studio.
Having grabbed one of the Concorp studios from XIsuma, Zedaph starts construction on the most Nickelodeon-esque decorations he's had so far. It's even got a dunk tank. No, sorry, I read that wrong. It's a dung tank, and the losing contestants will be covered in a TV-friendly facsimile of sheep poop.
Okay, that was very suffocating. It worked though, it worked a real treat.
Other than that, we got the buzzers, the grand entrance, and of course, sheep. A much more reasonable minigame is in the works for False Symmetry, who decides that dancing around Content ID is not dangerous enough, and goes for straight-up intellectual property theft. The Guess What minigame is a note-for-note translation of Guess Who, except the faces are a little bit less ugly.
Well, I've just thought, I think a piston needs to go underneath this. I think I forgot the piston. Yeah! See? Gareth knew that there needed to be a piston! Holy... Oh my god, you scared the... You scared...
For those not interested in challenge, the town of Cash Grab now offers a UFO cafe with pancakes shaped like saucers on the menu. There's also a haunted mystery motel if you plan on staying longer for whatever reason, or need somewhere to drop off a dozen children you brought for a road trip, or adults recording Minecraft for a living.
I know. Late to the party, as always, Cleo. But, you know, I just decided to drive down with some friends and, you know, make a road trip of it.
Quite pumped about her first visit to Hermitland, Zombie Cleo commemorates it in an armor stand diorama. It depicts the active chunk of the whitelist riding a single jeep together, which cannot be safe, much like letting Doc M drive. The Mumbo armor stand barely holding onto the front radiator probably agrees.
Inside the car, you obviously have TFC reading the map, Keralis panicking, and Doc driving like a maniac.
Funnily enough, this isn't even the first time he's been strapped to the front of a car. Car vlogs are a risky business, y'all. There are still a few square inches of Hermitland which haven't been exploited for profit though, and Stress Monster decides it's time to open a shop next door to Sahara Eats. Nobody should be surprised to hear it's going to sell snow and ice, although rebranded as snow cones and ice cream, it might actually fit the theme park vibe.
Oh my god, we are going to sell so much ice. Anybody remembers how much we were selling ice, packed ice, blue ice and snow for? Please let me know in the comment section down below because you'll be helping me out a ton.
To mass produce these frozen treats, Stress digs up a skeleton spawner near to Iskall's desert city and transforms it into an AFK experience farm, complete with auto-skeleton chomping wolves, so her shovel can repair itself while she farms snow from a snow golem.
Now, I don't know if the shovel will last a whole night AFK, I have no idea. So we hear the skeletons falling behind us and the shovel doesn't seem to be going down too much, which is very nice.
Impulse SV has finished tweaking his own skelly farm, although he spends a frightening few minutes diving into the cave spider spawner to stop them from climbing the walls.
Right. What we're going to do is we're going to get up here, I think, and then we're going to put some water in. Let me go ahead. It looks like they're still spawning quite a bit.
Deciding that farming plants might be slightly less poisonous, he tests and builds AFK farms for both netherwort and mushrooms, the better to fuel his potion brewers without having to lift a finger. After the netherwort farm goes through a few different phases, he decides to lay out his farm designing process for the mushroom one, which can be summarized as, I could make this super complicated, or I could just grow mushrooms in the dark.
Go. This has been planted for an hour and it still hasn't spread, to give you the idea. But, you know, if we make this thing pretty large, we might be able to passively get a decent amount of mushrooms, and that should be good enough for me.
TFC's vault is much more illuminated and a bit less mushroomy, and it also gets its fair share of new technologies, the more fictional kind, pretending this grindstone is either a ceiling-mounted bone saw or a chunky security camera.
It's too bad we can't rotate it like cornerways on the block and then put it in a corner.
Either way, it adds some more details to the medical wing, along with banners for privacy and lecterns for patient charts. After a brief search for glass in the shopping district, TFC digs some out of his own supply and adds some company-approved blue glass to the overseer's apartments, along with a TV screening the only DVD that survived the apocalypse, some sort of 70s kung fu action drama.
Painting roulette to see if I can come up with something like a monitor. Really bad 1970s karate film or something like that. Yeah, okay.
Cubfan has prepared a much nicer environment for his librarian villagers, though they still go through zombification so he can exploit their book-to-bookshelf trade loop. And here you thought you needed a farm to get infinite green.
And look at that! 1 emerald for 3 bookshelves, 1 book for 1 emerald.
For their obedience, the bookworms are granted their own separate workspace where they can chow down on some bookshelves and lecterns.
We'll have some computers here, so we got a little light-up keyboard, we got the Apple computer over here, we got the Windows computer over here, also with the light-up keyboard. And this farmer is seriously confused.
Which naturally brings us, of course, to the continuing saga of Iskall and Mumbo's villager trading contest. Iskall's own library is already constructed, but he plans to create modules like this for the other villager professions, so first, he needs some place to store them. He settles on designing them a prison, which we really want him to call Iskallcatraz, and installs buttons which redirect the prisoners to the work sites where they can, presumably, be rehabilitated into society, or, alternatively, shot into the stratosphere.
Please don't blow up. Yes, that was only 1 villager though, but that worked.
Because disposing of unwanted villagers could be something you avert your eyes from, or you could turn them into a fireworks display and let your friend press the button when he comes to visit.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's very entertaining. That is very, very, very entertaining. I feel like I've just lost in that moment. I feel like I should put myself in said canon. Because there's no point in me participating. I don't have anything like that.
Mumbo's tour of the new facilities highlights a few problems with the system, like just how long it takes the villagers to emerge from their minecart storage. We don't need to point out the irony that this is the Sahara Redstone team discussing how slow minecarts delivery is, but we will anyway because it's really quite funny. That's a problem Iskall has a workaround for, at least on the Sahara side, with his proposed Sahara Now deals still awaiting approval. Mumbo doesn't need a fancy TNT cannon to dispose of his villagers, the sorting system does that for him.
So task number 1 of today's episode... Oh! I was not expecting that! So let's be very careful here. I should act as his point of interest when he makes his way over there. Oh, I was meant to replace these! Oh, no!
But after a few tweaks and replacing some solid blocks for transparent ones, he can go back to damaging them intentionally with a zombie.
Okay, he's continued. That was not smooth.
While the layout of Mumbo's trading hall is a bit more traditional, the decor is much more futuristic, down to the spiral piston door and the concrete ribcage in the ceiling. For now, the villagers can rest in relative comfort until TNT Cannon Envy kicks in and he decides to start his own villager space program. And that's just about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP and my name is Pixelritz. If you needed more proof that zombie people and armor stands are a match made in heaven, check out the latest episode of Zloy's Truly Bedrock series, linked in the end screen theatre.
And would you look at that, even the body changes direction with the armor stand too, so that's interesting. I wonder how we can exploit it.
Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next week.